Hello, so in this video it's going to be a bit of a personal reflection about how I'm managing with balancing having a young family and also being in social work. So I'm currently pregnant and I've got a few months left to go, and I've also got a toddler, so I'm soon to have two under 2, so we'll see how that goes. So I was off on maternity leave for 9 months, and then I had to extend it to a year just because of a few things that happened. I didn't quite feel ready to go back. 2 days before going back I found out that I'd fallen pregnant again. So I was a little bit worried about how that would fall, and like having those conversations and telling people. I think I just wanted to say that because I feel like I know it's our right to have children and have a family, but I still feel like it can be a bit nerve-wracking, like having to sort of explain that, and some people can be judgmental when you're going in, and I work in a big office where there's lots of people, so I decided to tell my manager before my 12-week scan, and that was because I felt like I didn't want her thinking that I was just staying up watching Netflix or that I couldn't cope, just because she, you know, with her not knowing that I was pregnant, because I honestly felt I could hardly stay awake during that first trimester. So I also feel like you're very exposed being pregnant. It's not like something you can go in and hide very easily. Some people maybe can, but I've always been like really feeling massive with my pregnancy, so and having like I had a really big baby last time, so yeah, I guess it kind of brings up some things yourself, like, because we're always like fighting for people's rights, and I had this like really worried feeling because I hadn't been in that particular role. Although I'd worked in the local authority for a really long time, I'd not worked in that particular role for a super long time before I went off the first time. So I felt a bit on the back foot from that, but I feel like it's been like a learning curve for me as well, because I've not been like that well throughout this time, and it's made me think about how important it is that we are protected as people who are entitled to sickness and things, and it's good to work for a local authority where that's sort of covered. That's given me a lot of feeling of security. And I mention that because some people sort of ask me questions about what it's like to work for a local authority as opposed to sort of being an agency worker. So that's just been my experience. However, like, the work is challenging, and you know, you're dealing with emotional situations and stress and then pressures and things. So it's a lot to sort of manage while your hormones feel all over the place and there's lots of change in your life. But then it's also navigating the differences that come from picking up a child after work and getting home. So something for me is that I now work in a hospital, which is short-term work, so it is relatively easier than other types of work I've done to leave on time. So we are lucky in social work that we have such varied roles, because that can help. And then I was just going to touch on as well how important it is to feel supported by your manager and feel like there's someone you can talk to if you feel at risk, or that they're going to respect you for that. Because in social work sometimes we come across dangerous situations, like maybe make us feel uncomfortable or vulnerable when you're pregnant. So when you're walking into a situation where it's a property that you're going to do a protection of property, or there's animals there and you don't know how they're going to react to you, or even situations where maybe you're dealing with someone who is extremely cognitively impaired, for example, and then they're hitting out. That's been something that I've had to sort of like watch out for and like risk assess myself lately, because I've been doing capacity assessments where you have to ask people a lot of what could be considered like quite intrusive questions, and sometimes that can get people's backs up, and then you're thinking, right, how am I going to sort of manage this situation? And I think they're like things that maybe you wouldn't consider if it's just yourself, but then when you've got someone else to take into consideration, sometimes you think about it. So yeah, these are just things that I've been juggling lately. I just wondered if anyone else like was coming across like issues around sort of like juggling family life and social work. I just thought it's something that I haven't heard too many people talking about, so I just wanted to start that conversation. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you'd like to see any particular content coming up on my channel.